how you doing?
This is what I have to send in, so it is always nice to have a hard copy that's an original. And then I'll just, because you have to sign it and whatnot. And it was the weirdest thing because it would let me type that, but it would not let me type her name, and it wouldn't let me type back there. It was weird. Anyway, so if you could fill out your portion on the back, and then just date it and whatnot, and actually leave the date off, because I don't know when I'm going to get to it, hopefully next week. Okay.
And then she said we'll get a resume sent up.
Yeah, if you get the resume, and just fill this in, maybe, if you don't mind, because they want that filled in. And then we'll be good to go. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it.
So I'm proud to be here. This will be our first general membership luncheon for 2021. And so, we have some here, and hopefully we have some watching from abroad online. So we're trying very hard to, be able to share with everyone based on their own personal safety rules that they have for themselves, because we want everyone to be a part of the messages that we present. So before I start, I would like to give attention to a couple special guests that we have. We have Debbie Mance from Newport Richey, City Manager. And she's going to speak for a few minutes and share some things about the city with you shortly. And then we have Cynthia Armstrong with Pasco County School Board. Thank you very much for joining us. And so I'd like to start by calling up our sponsors that are sponsoring our lunch and give them a couple minutes to speak. Stacy Van Slyck with Van Dyke Mortgage. With that said, I made an extra effort to, sneak in some text messages and a Facebook message to invite people here. And if you came here because of that, and they needed to know how much lunch they made, I don't know what to do here, because if they made lunch for 20 and we got 40, that's my fault. I'll give up my lunch, but anyways, we'll make it happen, right? So you think you got that covered? But I'd love to give them a few minutes to speak and tell us about their company.
Thank you, everybody. It's so nice to see people's faces again. I've missed this so much. I want to introduce our team. We're building a team here at Van Dyke Mortgage. I'm Stacy Van Skank. I'm the dinosaur of the group. Been here and around forever. That's what the young kids call me. I have Sylvia Beditas. She is our transaction coordinator. She is also bilingual. Big deal to have someone bilingual on our team. Yes. Then we have Pam Paulson. Pam is an expert at credit. You have any questions about credit, how to rebuild credit issues, she is the one to go to. She also is specializing in down payment assistance programs. We do have the county programs, but we also have internal programs at Van Dyke. We have bond and other internal down payment assistance. We get asked that a lot. And then we have Chance Unger, who, for any of you that know him, he is a social media guru. The man is awesome at posting, making videos. We will make videos for any of you at our corporate office, edit them, post them for free. He is the king of social media, as well as an amazing loan officer. So I just wanted to introduce the team, let you know we feel it's very important that you guys are informed along the whole process as a listing agent or a buyer's agent. So our focus is to really keep you informed the whole time. We are at 30-day turn time on purchases and refinance. Not kidding, we can even close earlier. I closed a loan last week in 3 weeks. So other than that, we have the bank statement programs coming back. Self-employed borrowers, don't claim any income. We're getting those programs back. So sorry to take up your time. Thank you.
Don't be sorry, but thank you very much. And they're going to be serving us lunch. So I would like to have Connie come up. And Connie is going to be kind enough to give us the invocation and the pledge, please.
Thanks. So I think we'll do the pledge first, because then the invocation and we'll be adjourned to eat or however. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's everybody either stay seated, stand, whatever you want to do, but bow your heads. May the Lord bless you, our servicemen and women, and the entire United States of America. May he protect us and guide us all in this room today. May God bless this food we are about to receive, the friends that sit beside us, the families that are around us, and the love that we have to share. May we all remember that God is our strength and that he will always guide us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Thanks, God.
Thank you very much, Connie. So we're going to go ahead and allow you to get lunch. And we, folks, we want to keep it safe. So I asked that if we could just start back there and over here. How about that? And just one table at a time. So if you guys can just agree and just each a table at a time go up there. Hey, the table with David Lawn Spa, you go first. There you go, sir. We appreciate it, and we'll be able to join lunch. Should I go ahead and let them talk or let the chair people come up? Because I want them to be able to focus. Okay. All right, so we'll just mingle a little bit more, and then when we get all our food, then we're going to have the chair people come up and speak about their committees. Okay, the table with Wendy Stevens. So we have plenty of food? We had plenty of food? Yeah, good. I'll see what I can do. So, I mean, it's just wonderful to hear people chatter and being able to talk, isn't it? You know, it's a wonderful thing. But I do need to give opportunities to our chair people to come up and speak, which I'm going to do here in a minute. I'm going to let them meet. I'm going to speak for a couple more minutes myself. It's not quite on the agenda, but I just want to take a moment and just remind people how important it is to get involved in your business to a level where you come to these type of events. And, you know, if you haven't been to one before, maybe this will touch you. I can tell you the chair people that are going to come up here, they could, without me asking, they could speak to the fact that being involved has been very critically important to their success, because we are more connected to what we do. And when we're more connected to what we do, we're ultimately better advocates for the industry, we're better advocates for our customers, our community, ourselves. And so that's critically important. And why I also say that is there are things that are going on because of a lot of the things that happened in the world this last year that would, before 2020, that no one would have ever said, you know, next year, wait till you see what the world looks like. No one, right? And so it's created a more depth necessity on a lot of things. It makes us think a lot. And so with that said, there are some interesting changes going on with many things because of that. And one is our very code of ethics. And here's what I want to say is, though you feel like you work in a world that's not, you know, want to be a 9-to-5 person, if you're in this business, you've shown homes at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. You've written contracts at 9:30 at night. So in essence, you're always an employee of this industry. And so there's some things about the code of ethics that are going to be very important, and they're gray. They're gray. You know, when am I violating? When am I not? So even I stand here, and it's gray. So what we're going to be doing is I'm actually getting with Miss Connie, Education, Mike Dumas, and we're going to, try to make sure we give you the best message about what these changes are and how you need to be aware of them. And there's a lot of things that happen at the NAR level and in the Florida Realtors level and at the local level, and we're supposed to be the messenger down. So you'll see things like, 5-minute videos and stuff by Florida Realtors. Those are very important. They're telling you a very important message. And those things you have to watch. The things that we're going to do, you need to watch because negligence isn't the right answer. You need to know these things, and if you then come behind it and say, well, I didn't know, no one told me, that doesn't make it right. It makes it wrong. So you have to pay attention. It's for you, for your customers, for your community, for your industry. And so these things are important. So I challenge you to always carve out 30 minutes out of your week and say, let me just see what's on the blog at NAR, or what little videos, or what West Pasco Board is trying to present to me, so I know. And because your fellow realtor in your office may not pay attention as well, when we deliver a valuable message like that, that's something you should know, make sure you disseminate that to your fellow friends that are in the office with you so that hopefully they will pay attention. Because I hear way too much that no one ever told me, so I didn't know, and that doesn't make you innocent. And so that's important. So thank you very much for watching that. And now maybe the chair people have eaten their lunch. So I'd like to call up, and I'll start with Cookie Miller with Civic Affairs. Is she here? Boom! Come on down the stage. So I saw her out there maneuvering this truck around with this like 1,000-inch TV in the back. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Well, good afternoon. Thank you guys for coming. So Civic Affairs Committee had their first meeting about a week and a half ago or so, and we were planning our charity events for the year. And so what we kind of have decided to do is collect things by quarter. So we're going to be asking for donations from everyone. And our first project is going to be to Catholic Charities for the homeless women and children. And so we are asking everyone, and we're going to get this information out to people, but we're asking everyone to bring in personal care items as shampoo, soap, and this will help them. And we want to present it to them for Mother's Day this year. But to give sort of an incentive, our business partners who have been very generous have helped us to purchase a 75-inch smart TV and two 32-inch TVs. And so we're going to have them on display in the back here. And you bring in a donation, you drop your card in for a chance to win the TVs, which we're going to draw at the Thanksgiving luncheon. And after that, we're going to switch to school supplies. And then we're going to switch to non-perishable food items for the holidays. And in between that, you know, we are asking for anyone else that wants to volunteer to come to our committee meetings. We could use your ideas, your input. You know, we're happy to hear other people's ideas. Maybe it'll give us something different to do. And also probably doing joining hands again, serving dinner, and also giving out groceries. So basically that's what we're going to be doing, but we need your help, you know. It's just the same group of us that keep doing all these things, and like Scott said, it does help you. It helps you in your business and, you know, reaching out to your contacts, and it's just a good thing to do. It makes you feel good, and in the process you're helping a lot of people. So that's where we're at. Thank you.
Thank you, Cookie. I couldn't have picked a better person for this. And not only that, did she not have it planned out for when it meant something to someone? You know, school supplies, summer, non-perishable items for the holidays. Awesome. Okay, so I'd like to also next call up Miss Connie Lucco, Education.
I forgot to put my mask on walking up here, sorry. I could talk all day about the Education Committee, but you guys don't want to hear about me all day long, or the committee. So I just want to say a couple things. First of all, this board is so amazing. Do you realize other boards are not even open currently now to their members? This board and what all they can accomplish together as a team is amazing. So I am honored and blessed to sit on a committee, to chair a committee with other education-minded people for right now, because they're stepping up. Our first meeting was a couple weeks ago. We have about 3 weeks ago. We have another one tomorrow, actually, and we have planned. Last year at the Thanksgiving luncheon, when Mike Gallo put up on the screen that we had planned 87 hours of education, this year we're planning 250 hours to our members here. That's how good this committee is. And I thank everyone that teaches and trains up here, because they're giving their time free of charge to educate not only the new agents, not the dinosaur ones either. I call them seasoned agents, not old either. So they're willing to give their time. And we had a class yesterday that I taught, and there were 15 people in the room, 22 signed up. So we're still giving a lot, and we want to get the word out because education to me is power. So we're doing a lot of trainings. I don't have time to go over. I think we're doing 250 hours, so we're at least giving 120 different sessions that we're training on different stuff. We're gonna revisit the selling the salt life. We're gonna do condominiums. So if you have specialties and you need to come in, but we have core classes set in place after orientation. Now we have 24 classes planned for the new agents or seasoned that want to come in and listen to these. Buyer's techniques, listing techniques, how to get leads, the general rule that everybody should know coming into this business. And it will not only help the newer agents, but when a seasoned agent has to deal with those newer agents, think how smooth this deal is going to go, right? If everybody gets in here and educates. So I am calling all brokers this year to come in. We're going to have a wine and cheese type broker session with you guys here one evening. Cookie and I and Jeff are on the committee. We're all going to get to a point and invite you in to see and show you how much training we could help you with your newer agents. So we're doing all of this. I don't have enough time in the day to tell you 250 hours worth of training, so I'll leave it at that, but I will just say thank you to the committee because we are on a roll this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so if you want to know what's coming up, it's either on the website or I think at one of them, the atrocious pop-ups when you're trying to get to the MLS. Pay attention to that stuff. I mean, it must mean something. You've given us too many pop-ups this time, Connie. I'm just kidding. So, all right, very good. So let's move on. And I have the pleasure to ask up Dan Holback, our RPAC chair, and we're excited. Dan's always a fun guy, so here we go.
Not a mushrooms guy.
Mushroom guy, okay.
Fun guy.
I have that if you want.
Ah, thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to fill in on a couple things. RPAC is really important. Folks don't always realize what it is, and we need to spread the word about it. I'm going to be doing that all this year with the committee. I will tell you, a word you should associate with RPAC is essential. Everybody, realtors are essential employees, even though you're employed on your own. We were deemed that because of donations and the power that RPAC has, both nationally and at the state level. It's very important. A lot of states did not deem realtors as essential. So, and as Connie said earlier, even a lot of our places, our boards locally are still closed. They're not open to people. So it's super important that we encourage and do things that help with the RPAC. There's a big influence. Folks at the state level also and federal always want to know what do the realtors think about certain aspects of things, and they're always out there when the RPAC pushes for laws and whatnot to protect home ownership, affordable housing, and also to protect, obviously, folks in our industry. Thank you, Scott. You are so good to me. Anyway, we're off to a great start this year for RPAC. We've already, we've got some big goals, though. Our new goal for this year is $29,400. We've already got $17,300 in. So we're doing a good job. So thank you very much. I'll be reaching out, as I said. We need to hit these new goals, and we're going to be coming out there with some other interesting and fun things. Last year we did a lot of online auctions and stuff. There'll be more of that this year. makes more people comfortable in doing things who don't feel they want to come in person just yet. So anyway, I could ramble on about RPAC all day, but I will let it go back to the rest of us. So thanks again. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dan. So, all right, so tried to get Mike Gallo here. He wasn't able to make it. Mike Gallo was last year's president, and we had installation, and at that time we give out awards. There were a few people that weren't able to attend with us that deserve awards for sure. And so I have the privilege to give out the last few awards that we weren't able to give out at that time. And so the first one is, I'll try to speak about them because I don't have notes in front of me, but it is definitely someone very instrumental in our board that makes sure that we have some political power and a voice in what goes on the government side. And with that said, I'm proud to give an award to Mr. Greg Armstrong. Outstanding Government Service Award. I have an award for someone I don't know a whole lot. I did meet him here, but he received an award for Shining Star, and that's Richard Ackley with ARC Title Services, a very good contributor to our membership, and we thank you very much. And I'm not sure if this person here, but we have, which is a prestigious award from us, a Hall of Fame award for Carol Olds. So.
Vintage now, not even vintage. Vintage sounds so much more, I don't know.
Well, certainly those that got awards definitely earned them, and we're privileged to offer them. So now I have the privilege to introduce our guest speaker for today, and that is Debbie Manns. Debbie Manns is, I'm going to read her bio, driven by an interest in delivering quality service to communities. Debbie Manns brings a diverse skill set to the position of city manager for Newport Richey, Florida. Ms. Manns began her career with the city on June 2nd, 2014, and has been instrumental in several key city projects, including the multi-million-dollar Sims Park Improvement Project, the Recreation and Aquatic Center expansion, Fire Station Number 2 relocation project, Kaiser University project, and the Residential Rental Housing Inspection Program. An active member of International City Management Association, Ms. Manns received her award for 30 years of service in 2019. Her participation in professional groups like the American Society for Public Administration, American Planning Association, Florida City and County Management Association, and Urban Land Institute help keep her in touch with new programs and development trends that can improve the Newport Richey community that she serves. Ms. Manns is also a member of the Newport Richey Rotary and graduate of the Leadership Pasco program. Ms. Manns received her Bachelor of Science degree and her MPA training from Eastern Michigan University. And everyone, if you know what Newport Richey looks like today compared to a year ago, compared to 2 years ago, amazing, amazing. So I have the honor and privilege to welcome you, Miss Debbie Manns. Thank you. I'm going to sit down for a minute.
It truly is my honor and privilege to be able to address this group today. And it's nice to be able to see so many familiar faces in the crowd. So I feel like I'm among friends. So we'll talk open and honestly today. I'm going to begin by telling you just how lucky I am. I'm very lucky to serve as your city manager. And one of the reasons that I'm really lucky is because I get to work with a mayor and a deputy mayor and a city council that are strong and tenacious enough to stand behind me. And that has not been an easy task this past 6.5 years. It has taken men with great leadership traits, and I credit them for much of what we've achieved in my tenure because they were strong enough to stand behind me. I also have a staff of 250 people, so if you hear me say through the address today, too many times what I've done, no, it wasn't me by any means. I have a large staff and a great management team that makes sure that the plans that we put in place are effectuated. And so I'm just lucky to have them on my team. The purpose of the address today, in large part, is talk about the methodology of how we got to where we are today, and then to introduce some initiatives of where we're going to go from here. I think it's important to tell you a little bit about myself before we start, because I'm very driven by 3 key beliefs. And I think you'll see through the presentation that those beliefs have very much influenced the decisions that I've made as your city manager over the course of my tenure here. The first belief is that private investment always follows public investment. I believe if the city isn't strong and brave enough to spend some money and to show you how it's done, that private developers are never going to do it first. And in this community in particular, there's been a lot of neglect and failure to reinvest, and also an experience where there hasn't been some new investment in decades, particularly on our commercial corridor, principally US Highway 19. Which is one of the reasons, and I'll tell you more about the story when I get a little further along, that Kaiser University was so important to me. The second belief that I have is that a downtown can be an engine that drives a whole city. There have been critics over the last couple of years that said, why are they focusing so much on downtown? Why is it so important? It's because it can be an engine that drives a town. It was because, in my opinion, we had some assets there that needed to be capitalized on. They might not have been considered assets by most folks. You know, a half-built Main Street landings might not have been considered an asset by most folks, but I'll admit I'm an optimist. And I saw something there that maybe most folks didn't see. I saw property on Orange Lake that most people didn't want to invest in, but I saw multifamily housing there. I saw the Hacienda Hotel as a boutique hotel, even though it was in need of $5 million worth of investment, on top of the $3 million that the city had already invested. just to name a few of the projects that really, I think, mobilized reinvestment and interest in the downtown area. The last thing that I believe is that the city has a primary responsibility to create a quality of life for you. Now, a quality of life is a very subjective standard, and for most of us, it's really a measure of your happiness. In my personal experience, it translates into four things. I need to have a community. I crave a sense of engagement. I need to have a place for some physical activity. If I'm not out walking, and a lot of you have seen me do that around town, I can be angry because I need a place to kind of work out some of the frustrations that I might have during the course of a day. I need to have access to public space. I think public space is really important, whether I'm going there to reflect, whether I'm going there because I need some social interaction, or if I'm going there for a recreational purpose. And the last thing I need when it comes to quality of life is I need to know their safety. And when I think of that, I need to know that the risk of being safe and not having an accident or a crime is relatively low. You'll know one of my first strategic moves was I told the police, I'm really glad you drive through the downtown, but now you're gonna walk. And now you're gonna take your T3, and now you're gonna say hello to people, and you're gonna get integrated into the fabric of the downtown, and people are gonna know you're there. Because I didn't feel safe 6.5 years ago. Today, I can tout the fact that I feel safe. I don't stay out late at night, and because I can't, because I get up too early. That's another story. But that was, I think, an important thing to do. The objectives, though, in changing the downtown were about making it a good pedestrian experience, and that meant it had to be safe. It was also about integrating people into living downtown. There wasn't enough of that, and as such, even when there was a retail tenant in the downtown, they struggled to survive. I needed to create a community of supporters that really would rely on a downtown business community of retailers, and a good way to do that was introducing housing into the downtown. The last part of it relates to business mix, and we needed to do some targeting of recruiting for the right retailers in the downtown. And we still need to continue to do that, but we at least have a better representation today than we did in the past. And I'm real proud of the retailers that we have in place and hope that you'll all visit them at some point. Sims Park was the first project we did, and I spent over $3 million on that project, and I have to tell you, there were days that I had to have a lot of thinking about whether or not that was the right thing to do and the right place to do it. I got really nervous when the health department told me, you have to put in a shower if you're gonna put in a splash pad. And I thought, oh no. If I'm putting in a place for homeless people to shower right next to a splash pad, that's just not gonna be the effect I'm desiring. And I had to have more confidence than that the positive activity that was created created by nature of the fact that we were doing the right thing and creating positive activity was going to be enough of a disincentive for the negative stuff that we weren't going to be victim to it. And I believe that has occurred in large part. Not saying all of our problems are gone. We still have challenges in the community, and I know it. I have a plan for it, and I believe that the mayor and the city council have the fortitude to back me through addressing our remaining challenges. The Hacienda Hotel, as I indicated to you, the city had we spent $1 million. We had $2 million in grants from the Division of Historic Resources. So we had $3 million. Lots of people criticized yours truly for not making the best land deal on earth, and as realtors you might go, they're right, you didn't. But I sold it for $800,000. Good deal, right? But my deal was, and you have to spend $5 million in construction making it a boutique hotel. So really I sold it for $5,800,000. When you look at it in those terms, and we put them on a timeline to do it, and we will have this calendar year a 42-room boutique hotel, and I'm proud to be able to tell you that it's going to happen. Yay. The Main Street Landings project, you all know, has now been completed. There are 90 units of housing that have been established there, and there are 15 retail spaces. They're about 80% occupied from the residential perspective, still not completely occupied for their retail spaces, but things are good. They sold last week for $19.5 million, which was a favorable sale. They were assessed for $8 million, so it helps the city a bit in our commercial redevelopment authority. So we were glad to see the bit of growth in the district. The Central, which is on Orange Lake, which was, help me out, Greg, what was the church that was there before? First Baptist Church. I couldn't get anyone interested in developing housing on that property, and I threw myself at the ankles of a lot of developers to try to gain their attention. It wasn't until Mario Iazzoni and I met Frank Starkey that we actually got a real developer that was interested in doing a real development project there, and he has invested over $5 million in the Central project, and he has 80, or will have 85 units at the conclusion of the third phase of the project, which he's just starting now. At least we're in permit review for it now, and he's fully occupied for all he has constructed. His highest price point for one of his apartment units, $1,500, and he's getting it. That would have never happened in downtown Newport Richey 6.5 years ago. So I'm grateful to Frank Starkey for being brave enough to say, I'll take that project, because it was even before the downtown started to see some life. He was taking a big risk. It was before Sims Park was fully implemented, before we blended Orange Lake with it. He's a man of great vision, and we're lucky that he's interested in the city. Current initiatives that are ongoing will be redoing Railroad Square, and we are redoing the Nebraska Avenue parking lot, and because image and promotion are very important to our continued place of interest in the region, and parking and traffic are something that we continue to work on. Branding is something that's important, and I brought some coffee cups because the city's been through a branding effort, because we used to be the gateway to Central Florida, tropical Florida. And I don't know what that means, like we're the gateway and you go through us to something else. But we decided to change that up a little bit, and so we've got a new image, and I brought with me a key member of our staff in that respect, Jacob Freed, who is our marketing person, and he's been very busy doing some promotion and some marketing of the city. The commercial side of things is where we've been allowed to sort of change directions to, now that the downtown has somewhat stabilized. And I have to say that I think we're defined by US Highway 19, and I don't like the definition. It is scary in some respects. I get overstimulated when I'm driving because I see all the outdoor storage and the signs, and we have a tool that I love, and they're called ordinances, and they're laws of the land of local government. And so we've started instituting them. The first thing we hit was motels. You're no longer allowed to have a motel in the city unless it's already been constructed. So no new motels. If you have a motel, you are in 1 year, in 2 months, no longer allowed to rent more than 15% of your room to transients. That means you can't let people live there, because that's happening, and that's a problem. That's a problem for positive economic development of our commercial districts. No kidding. I had to shut down the Travel Inn. 14 rooms. How many people were living there? 14 families. 14 families. One had been there over a year in a room. Now these hotels, you gotta know, don't have maid service, right? It's third world country stuff inside those rooms. It's deplorable, and it's a sin that people are living like that. We relocated families to get them out. In the end, we were able to, through an operation that I administer through a couple of divisions and departments of my city called Operation Clean Sheets, to get the building raised. They're the first to go. I expect others will follow suit based on the continuation of our efforts with this program. The other thing is we've got some problematic uses on US Highway 19, and you might wonder what those are. We define those as quick cash, predatory lending kind of places, pawn shops, maybe a blood plasma center. We even consider tattoo parlors. Anything like that is considered a problematic use, which means you can't establish one in the city unless you're 1,000 feet away from another one. So we've established distancing requirements so that there's not a concentration, because a concentration cries, this is not a good place to stop for gas. This is not a good place to do business. This is not a good place to live. The other thing we've done is we've instituted some car dealership standards, because our used car dealerships, and we've got a plethora of them within the boundaries of the city on 19, they unfortunately needed to be told by government, you have to have customer parking, you have to landscape, you can't park more cars on your property than you have property. It was a big fight, my friends, to institute those standards, but we did, and they're starting to come around, and so you're going to see some improvements there, which I think will project better on our image as a whole. Now, the story I have to tell you is the Kaiser University story, because I am very proud of it. It is a $14 million investment on their part to establish a 45,000 square foot campus there. Now, 14 million is more than has been spent on US Highway 19 in decades. The closest thing to it was almost 3 decades ago. It was Publix Shopping Center. And I think it came in at like 6 or 7 million. Nothing since then. They're going to bring in 1,000 students. They're creating 100 jobs. And they had a site in Port Richey that they were going to build in. We had introduced a site to them in town, and they walked away. They said it's too complicated. There's 3 property owners, and they're all crazy. We don't want to deal with them. And so I said, I can deal with crazy, no problem. And as it turned out, the mayor and the council allowed me, I'll call it a privilege, to deal with the 3 property owners and to establish deals with them on the property. And once I had the assemblage in place, I approached the Kaiser folks and said, this is simple. Just pay me what I paid for property, and we can have a deal. And all I had at that point was a hope and a prayer that they'd lose money and walk away from their Port Richey location, but the hope and the prayer worked. And they decided that the new Port Richey location was preferable, and in many respects it was due to our downtown area, because they too, like me and others, wanted their student body and their faculty to be able to enjoy the amenities that we have and to be able to support our business community. And so we made the deal. Next week, we break ground on a parking structure that we are building to the tune of $6.5 million. There'll be 326 spaces in the structure. It'll be located just behind Kaiser University, and it's beautiful, I have to tell you. Architecturally, it doesn't look like a structure. It fits real nicely into the character of some of our branding and some of our wayfinding signage, and that there will be some parking provided for Kaiser, but it's also for public parking in large part, because we've seen on weekends and sometimes, and particularly special events, we need some extra parking. So the structure will be built. In terms of residential improvements, we have had a very aggressive improvement project at the Recreation Aquatic Center, and we're turning our focus more to that. And I know I'm talking too long, and I want to give you a chance to ask questions, so I'm just going to kind of clip through the residential portion of the project. We're doing improvements at the Gray Preserve. We're doing improvements at Francis Avenue Park, and we're doing improvements at Meadows Park. We have a residential rental inspection program, and we think it's doing some good. About 46% of our housing stock is rental, and because we think it's being effective, the residential taxable value in the city is growing pretty significantly, In 19, it was 9.3%. I think you people know those details better than I can tell you, so I won't bore you with them. We have a slums and blight program, so when something's bad, we're taking it down. We're trying to rebuild something new and make it available for affordable housing. And we also have a foreclosure program where if you have so much debt to the city, we're just foreclosing on the debt, and if we need to, we'll fix up the house, sell it to somebody for an affordable price, or we'll raise it and let somebody else build or will build, and you take over the house. Like I indicated to you before, the fight's not over. We have many challenges in the city, just as other cities have challenges. I think that we have a plan to address the challenges that exist. I believe we have a council that is very much committed to fighting the fight and has the fortitude with which to fight. When I close my eyes at night, one of the things city managers like to know is that the day's work was good. And I use taxable value, I use crime statistics, and I use civic pride as my gauges for whether or not there's been an improvement in the city. And I think unquestionably there has been. And so my hope is that if you ever invite me back, that I'll have even more to report to you and that it'll be more good news. But at this time, I'll be prepared to respond to whatever questions you have. And Jacob, will you hand out a few coffee cups? Thank you. Greg, you let me off the hook? I knew you'd have one.
I don't have a question.
All right.
I have a comment.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to be one of the people that met you the day you came to town. And I remember looking at Cynthia after we talked for a while, and I said, they finally got the right person.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to tell you that you came in behind somebody who saw the glass half empty and no drain inside.
Yeah.
You came in with a glass half full and brought a bottle of champagne to keep filling it up. So we're really lucky.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you. I got a long one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Your kind words mean much. Thank you, Greg.
I got a real tough question for you.
All right.
This board is very supportive of Habitat Humanity. I wonder if you could give us any information on what's happening on the annexation of Town and Country Village with the county and city.
I can. And I expect fully that the city will annex the Leisure Lane, Van Doren Avenue as part of 7 enclaves that we want to bring into the city. What I'd like to happen and what's preferable to me is that the county would spend some money out of their community development block grant funds to help finance some of the infrastructure improvements that need to occur before annexation occurs. Because the infrastructure, which is sanitary, is about a $2 million investment. And the city is not in a position to be able to finance a $2 million infrastructure project there without assessing the lots. And that would make it cost prohibitive for Habitat. I do, however, keep my eyes open and have applied in the past and will continue to apply for grants for that purpose because it's just ripe for a grant in that it's a partnership between the county, the city, FGUA, and Habitat. And so I'm hopeful to get some grant money to at least get that first phase of sanitary in, and then we could carry it from there. Give it to who looks nice. Any other questions? Thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate it very much.
That was great. At least I thought so. Being what I've seen going on downtown the last few years, I had no idea who was behind the scenes. Now I do. Thank you. I just want to thank again, please, hands up for our sponsors that provided us lunch. Van Dyke Mortgage. They did a great job. They had enough food, and I think they still have some. I might take mine with me. I haven't ate yet, so. And I also want to thank John and the Weeby team for coming in and helping and giving us a great deal to be able to bring this off online so that those that didn't feel comfortable coming or couldn't make it here physically was able to participate through the web. Thank you very much for that. And with that said, that concludes our first general membership luncheon meeting for the year. We have lots of events, and again, I preach, pay attention, be involved. Most of you are committee holders and all that stuff, so you do. So hopefully I'm touching some people online, or just keep preaching it out there. It's a great thing. Our community's awesome. Enjoy. Take care.